What's up, everybody? Big Herc, getting down fresh out, and you tune into another fresh out interview. Man, a lot of y'all watch, you don't subscribe. Man, hit that subscribe button, support, and make sure you subscribe to this man's channel, Sean Gumby. This guy is a New Jersey extraordinaire. He was out here doing big things. He has a very interesting story. Our first white collar interview, flew out here to do the interview, and we're really blessed to have him here on the channel. So, we're gonna get into his story. Sean, man, tell the people a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, and give them some insight on who you are.
All right, yeah, Big Herc, man. First of all, man, I want to thank you for having me on your platform, man. And I would be wrong, man, if I didn't give a shout out to Moses Cuevas, man, for putting in the phone call to you to introduce me to you, man. So shout out to Moses Cuevas. From Jersey. Born in Passaic, New Jersey, raised in Clifton, New Jersey. Single mother, two-hand touch, tackle football, big wheel, green machine, Atari, regular kid, baseball, little league, football, basketball, boys club, YMCA, just a regular kid, grew up as an only child.
What was it like in your neighborhood? I mean, was it pretty diverse, or what was the demographics?
I grew up initially up into the third grade. We grew up on the side of town where it was more mixed, okay? But then my mother, when I got to the fourth grade, we moved up to a town where it was purely white. I went to all white public schools, all white from kindergarten up until high school. Was pretty much the only black in the class most of the time.
What was that like, man? I mean, because I know having that exposure kind of allows you to move in certain circles. I know for me, I grew up pretty mixed environment, then lived on a military base, and then, in high school, I had a little bit of both. I had the hood and I had suburbia. And so I know I was able to see both sides of it. How was it for you, man? How did that, open up your perspective to life?
I really, up until as a kid, from kindergarten up to about the sixth grade, I really didn't see, and I don't think children see the differences.
Color. Yeah.
Right, but once I got to seventh grade, we went to junior high school, and then there was other kids from around the city. Then I began to feel, and began to know that I was different. You understand? And I always knew who I was. My mother always, she was always Black Power, Dr. King, Malcolm X, she always taught me about all of that. And I knew that I was a black kid. But when I got to junior high and high school, that was when a lot of the discrimination came, a lot of the name calling and shit like that, niggas, spook, porch monkey, all that shit. But I gotta say this to her, I met some cool white dudes, man, you understand? And some cool white girls, you understand? Everybody ain't fucked up. I can't paint a whole race fucked up because of one individual.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like my story, man.
Did you get in any trouble growing up through high school stuff, or you pretty much stayed out the way? You didn't really?
Nah, I started smoking weed in the seventh grade, man. Up until that point, I was all-star little league shortstop, money, very athletic, involved into a lot of shit, athletically. I started smoking weed in the seventh grade, and everything went downhill from there, man, which led me to smoking dust, tripping off mescaline, and just getting involved in drugs. And that's when my attitude changed. I started to quit everything. I became a problem child, juvenile delinquent, running from the cops, getting arrested, and all that old kind of shit, man.
So moving forward after high school, what path did you take there? Did you go on to go to college? I mean, did you just kind of hang out in the neighborhood? I mean, what were your plans from, after graduating?
When I graduated from Clifton High in 1987, my mother, she had always told me I was going to Morris Brown in Atlanta, Morris Brown College, and then shout out to Morris Brown. I graduated high school in June. And one of the things about me is that always academically, even though my behavior was fucked up, my academics was always money. I was always an A student, B student. I was gifted and talented. You know, I was in college prep courses and shit. It was just that my behavior was fucked up. I graduated in June, and in August of 1987, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, as a freshman at Morris Brown College, man, historically black college, and that was a turning point, man. One of the best things I've ever done, man. Yeah, and I registered as an accounting major. I stayed at Morris Brown for. I was there. It took me 6 years to finish. My drug addiction that took off to the point where I had to quit school. You understand? And I got clean, and I went back and I finished up, got my degree in 1993.
How important do you think is having the right people around you, as far as the friends and the people you were socializing with? How influential was that in your life?
You know, for some reason, Big Hurt, I always wanted to be accepted by the wrong motherfuckers, man. I was a college prep student, man. I was money, man. Math, I was money. And if I would have had the guidance to keep me on track to do that, you know, I wouldn't have gotten into a lot of shit. But I like to hang out and attracted to the motherfuckers that got high. The cool, that had nothing in common with me. That had nothing, you know what I'm saying?
None of the potential you had.
Nothing. And that caused me a lot of setbacks, a lot of reverses, man. Having that need for that acceptance from that type of person, man, from that crew. That was some bullshit. That was some sucker shit, really, when I look back on it now.
And what was the incident that led to you eventually, you know, coming into contact with the law, for you getting, you know, catching your federal case? What moving forward, what was the incident that led to that?
I caught my Fed case, man. I never forget that shit, man. I had a tax practice. I'm an accountant by trade. I have an accounting degree, and I got a master's in finance. And I started a tax business that I grew from 0 clients. And by the time the feds came, I had over, how many clients I had? About 1,700 clients, no, about 1,300 clients in 17 different states. I used to make about 300 grand a tax season, 200 grand in the month of February. Travel all over the world, Africa, South America, fly all over the place. And what I was doing the wrong thing, and I let greed fuck me around. I was getting people back bigger refunds on their returns than what I was supposed to by giving them phony deductions, phony write-offs, giving them earned income credit when they really didn't deserve it. Excuse me. Making up Schedule C's for people who, you know, I would say they cut landscaping or shit like that and put a kid on the return and get them a big refund. And one day I woke up, I went to work. 2 federal agents from the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, FBI, met me in the parking lot. And that motherfucker knocked my head, bust my head to the white meat, man.
Well, I know once you see the FBI, man, you see them windbreakers with them letters, them alphabet soup letters, man, you know it's a wrap. Once they got involved and you knew you had to do time, you know, what went through your head? I mean, you know, how did you try to prepare yourself so that you could make it through your time, but come out with a better perspective, you know, and be successful after your incarceration? How did you go about preparing yourself for that?
Yo, Herc, when them motherfuckers came, man, it scared me to death, man. When that motherfucking paperwork come to your house in the mail and that shit say the United States of America versus Sean Gumby, that shit'll make you sit down, man. And let me read this shit again. What, the United States? And after they came, for the next 3.5 years, I crashed and burned, kid. Self-inflicted wounds. When they came, See, because I didn't know why they came. Because the day before they came April 14th. The day before, I had moved $180,000 from my personal account to my TD Ameritrade account because I was trading stocks at the time. And I had been doing that, but not to that amount of money. So when they came, I thought it was about the money and shit. So I panicked. And at that time, I had about 275 grand in my business account, and my TD Ameritrade account was worth about 650,000. I had about 930 cash liquid. And what I did, to answer your question, to try to prepare for what was happening, but I didn't know what the fuck was finna happen. I tried to take this money, put it in the market, and triple it, and take it from 900,000 to 2.7. So if they're here for the money, they could take the 9, and I'm gonna still have 18. And what I did was shoot myself in the head by making decisions under the fear, depression, anxiety, paranoia, and depression. And I lost every motherfucking nickel. And they came 40 days before my son was born. And like I say, I was worth about 1.2 the day they came. In about 15 months, nigga, I had about $3,000 to my name. And I had a brand new son looking at me. And I hated myself. And I went into a depression so deep, nigga, I almost didn't come out that motherfucker, man. Everybody abandoned me. Everybody who I thought loved me abandoned me, right? I'm later, now that I look back at things now today, I can see who the fuck cooperated, who didn't. And I'm not really, it don't even bother me no more because that's such a long time ago. But at the time, that was important for me to know, you understand? And I went to see lawyers and they was talking about, nigga, you're going to prison.